It's Friday, February 14th, 2020. Markets just closed a little while ago. Dow Jones was only down 25 points today. And I continue to ask myself this question, and I know many of you ask yourself the same question. Where is all this optimism coming from? Now, quite possibly, it could be coming from Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. I was watching a couple minutes of Fox Business today, and they're talking about record-breaking Valentine's Day sales on this February 14th, 2020. So while most people haven't even paid off 2018 Christmas shopping, not 2019, many millions and millions of people have not paid off 2018, let alone the 2019 holiday shopping season. And now here they are again today for Valentine's Day, running up those credit cards even more, spending money they don't have. And this must be the optimism that is driving these markets. Now, let's not forget about all the repo injections. Let's not forget that we are at record low interest rates. Again, this is all propping up this fake illusion we call the stock market. But again, it's quite interesting to watch these markets and the power of the Fed and the power of the media with all this fake data and all this fake optimism that they keep shoving down our throat. I pulled up a few articles last night and this morning, and my eyes are still dilating. I had to do a eye exam this morning, so they're a little bit sensitive, but I thought it was really important to make this video today. Didn't make a video yesterday, so I'll use my glasses. But that reminds me, you know, there's so much negativity out there, and I get judged a lot because I'm a doom and gloomer and I'm a fear monger, and I don't talk about anything positive. Look, I just report the truth. I report the news. I report the facts. But I do want to say something today. You know, just going and getting my eyes examined today is a reminder, and it's a reminder to all of you also, that we need to thank God and be super appreciative that we have our health, that we have our eyesight, because there's a lot of people out there that don't. And there's a lot of people out there that would give up everything they had if they could see again, if they could have another day of life, if they could spend another day of life with their family. So we take a lot for granted. And as I'm getting my eyes examined today, you know, things that we take for granted on a daily basis, our eyesight, how many people wish they could see today? We take a lot for granted. So that's my message today, is to be so thankful to God that if you're walking, talking, if you can see, maybe you don't even have two eyes, maybe you have one eye, but at least you can still see. You have it better off than somebody else. And we must thank God, get on our hands and knees and thank God on a daily basis for what He has blessed us with. If you had a meal today, if you have a roof over your head, if you have two legs, two arms, maybe even one arm, you're functioning. You're doing better than a lot of people in the world that are missing all their limbs, who wish they could have two legs, two arms, and two eyes to walk around today on planet Earth. We take a lot for granted, and I'm going to say that I feel that I'm a very blessed individual to be able to have the opportunity to speak with all of you on a daily basis, to have the opportunity to have my sight, to have my limbs, to have the ability to eat. So we must thank God daily for what He has blessed us with. So let's get into this video today. Wolfstreet.com, credit card interest rates soar to record high, bond yields drop to record low. What gives? Bond yields have fallen across the board, and borrowing for companies today is extremely cheap. Unfortunately, it is not cheap for you regarding your credit cards. I talked about this a couple videos ago. You know, these banks are borrowing money at literally nothing and not passing any of the savings on to you. Why are consumers willing to borrow at 20 or 30%? That's the magic question here, is ask yourself, why are so many millions of people here in America willing to borrow money at 20 and 30%? How come millions of people use payday loans 400%? How come people are willing to do this? This should be a red flag in regards to what is really happening in the economy, because many of these people are willing to do it because they have no other choice. The fact is, there is demand to borrow money and a demand to borrow at a high rate. Some people have that attitude, I want it today, I'm not going to wait, I'll pay 30%. And some people have no choice. They're not eating tonight unless they use that credit card. Many are eager to spend now, right now, today, and worry about the interest later. And many are forced to use those cards to survive or pay for an emergency. How many people, if they got a flat tire today, do they have a couple $100 in their pocket? Do they have a couple $100 in their bank account? Millions do not. And millions of people would have to use a credit card to get that tire repaired. SHTFplan.com, economic woes. 1 in 4 renters are now spending over half their income on housing. I talked about this a couple days also, but these articles, these subjects keep coming up in multiple news groups. When I drive through many areas here in Southern California, there are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars in the driveway. So it's very apparent how people are surviving today. They're taking on multiple roommates because the rent or the mortgage payments are too much to bear. Subprime auto loans explode. Serious delinquencies spike to record. This is on Zero Hedge today. Somebody said I'm not reporting news on Zero for whatever reason. Of course I am. I think they're a great news source. I use sources across the board. Nearly a quarter of subprime auto loans are 90 days plus delinquent. Most of you already know this. All combined, prime and subprime auto loan delinquencies that are 90 days or more past due, also known as serious delinquencies, in the fourth quarter of 2019 surged by 15.5% from a year ago to a breathtaking $66 billion. And again, I'm going to ask the same question. What is going to happen when this economy turns? With this amount of debt sitting out there, with over 7 million people who are now delinquent on their auto loans, when technically nothing bad has happened yet. These are the good times. New vehicles, when the lender repos these autos, new autos, they lose about 40% or more of the loan balance. Again, this is a formula for disaster. Millions of people in this country are driving cars they cannot afford to be driving. Seriously delinquent auto loans jumped nearly 5%. What is this going to look like when this economy starts slowing down, when they can no longer inject it with the medicine, when the medicine starts wearing off, when it no longer has the same effects? I mean, what is happening in the repo market is insanity. All this fake data, the low rates, the corporate buybacks, the helicopter money, the quantitative easing, you name it. This is going to stop working. It is wearing off. And when it does, they're not going to be able to hide what is going to happen in the auto market, the stock market, the bond market, the real estate market. It's going to be a disaster. And remember, these are the good times right now. You have not seen anything yet. And even in these good times, people are willing to pay 20 and 30% to borrow money. They're willing to finance an automobile for 8 years in the good times. I don't think we can really comprehend how bad it's going to look when times change, and times are going to change. Let's look at January production, okay? We're only down 25 points today in the Dow. We're back up in these markets at record or near record highs. And we look at January manufacturing production. It contracts for the 7th straight month. Capacity utilization tumbles. Manufacturing production fell 3 out of the last 4 months, falling 0.3% month over month. This is before the impact of the whole situation over in China. So next month when we look at these numbers, more than likely they're going to be much worse. Goldman cuts Brent forecast by $10 to $53. Chinese oil demand plunging by 4 million barrels per day. Now, how can anybody out there think that this is not going to have massive economic repercussions in the global economy? There is a massive slowdown taking place globally, and now it's getting even worse on a daily basis over in China. Think about what these low oil prices are doing to the American oil refineries, the drillers, the shale industry right here in America. What is it doing? I think these guys need to be at around $70, $80 a barrel to be profitable at least. And I don't know where we're at today. I think we're around low 50s, $50, $51. I did not check oil prices today, but it's much too low for our oil producers here in America to be making money. January, let's look at auto sales in China. Sales crushed 20.2% on a year-over-year basis in January. This is in China. Dealers predict 50 to 80% sales drop this February compared to last February in China. Electric vehicles have plunged 54% in January, yet people think this is going to have no effect on the U.S. economy. I think they're very mistaken here. Watching a little bit of CNBC this morning, a little bit of Fox, reading some of these articles, it is absolutely amazing, the sellouts that we watch on television, just pumping these markets up. Nothing to do with fundamentals. It's all to do with the Fed. And these people who quite literally must have sold their souls to corporate America, I mean, it is nothing more than propaganda. And I'm telling you, there's going to be a huge price to pay for many, many Americans when this thing comes tumbling down. Let's talk about Caterpillar. Caterpillar sales post biggest drop in over 3 years as North America plunges. Now, we have to remember Caterpillar is a global industrial bellwether and leading manufacturing sector indicator for over the last 100 years. Cat's latest retail sales data in January, they posted a 7% drop in machine sales. This is the biggest drop since January 2017 and only the second consecutive negative print since December's negative 5% drop following 33 consecutive months of increases. Sales slumped in North America 11% year over year. Keep an eye on China. There is so much now dependent on China and the situation happening over there. And apparently we just haven't felt the wave hit America yet, but they are feeling it. And corporations like Caterpillar are feeling it. Keep an eye on China, where sales are expected to collapse. We may see a historic plunge in annual sales regarding Caterpillar and sales in China. I guess the repo market wasn't fixed in September. Let's talk repo. Second most oversubscribed term repo operation since September. That was yesterday, where they had to inject, I believe it was $89 billion. I want to go back just for a second. Falling oil prices. This is going to affect energy companies, as I said earlier. And what people don't think about is the loss of employment if oil does not start moving up in price. We are the biggest producer of energy now in the world right here, and these prices are stagnating. They're collapsing. And if something doesn't get them back up here shortly, we're going to see people in the energy sector, we're going to see layoffs. Sharp declines in oil prices coincide with downturns in economic activity. Look, we know that freight isn't moving like it used to. We aren't manufacturing hardly anything here in America. We see China's massive slowdown. We see the global slowdown, less oil, less energy being needed because countries are producing less products. Falling prices are going to put the Fed in a very tough situation. And this is another thing that the Fed was not expecting to happen. Yet Dow Jones only down 25 points today. Markets are at near all-time highs. And watching the propaganda on the television today, you would think there is not a care in the world. You would think that we are producing more material, more goods, more services here in America than we ever did. And it's quite the opposite. We're producing nothing. We're consuming everything. We're going into massive debt. Our debts and deficits are skyrocketing. Household debt, corporate debt, federal debt, state debt, county debt, everything is exploding. Yet we're supposed to believe that the economy is safe and sound. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I can tell you that this does not add up. 2 and 2 is not equaling 4 here. And I smell something, I smell a rat here. Very, very dangerous. And people just buying into this hype are putting themselves in a very dangerous position. This was on Bloomberg yesterday. Retirement millionaires surge to record in roaring market. It's on Bloomberg yesterday. The number of people with $1 million or more in their 401k or individual account on the Fidelity Investments platform reached record levels last quarter. 233,000 savers held 7-figure 401ks as of December 31st, up 17% from the prior quarter. Among IRA holders, 208,000 people made the club, a 14% increase. Things are roaring, aren't they, as people continue to ignore the danger and people focus on these digits on a screen and these pieces of paper that they're paper millionaires. They don't have the money in hand right now. One bad day can wipe all of that out very, very quickly. But people continue to watch the television, watch the business analysts. They're absorbing and drinking all of the propaganda. They're sucked into the optimism. But ask yourself, the optimism for what? The only thing that they have is a booming stock market. The economy's not booming. The global economy's not booming. We're not manufacturing anything here. We have more money going out than coming in. Our debt is record breaking, and nobody is talking about fixing the real problems like the debt. Nobody is talking about the debt and the threat of the massive debt here in America. Nobody's talking about manufacturing, building stuff here. We are reliant on too many countries. And now with what's happening in China, that could put us in a very, very bad place here. We're going to find out a lot in the next 2 to 4 weeks in regards to the situation over there when things start slowing on the assembly line, when deliveries from China start slowing here in America. Either this thing is going to go away in the next week or it's not. And we're going to see continued supply chains breaking. We're going to continue to see shortages in products coming to America. We're going to see prices going up. We're going to continue to see oil slammed. Somebody please tell me what is propping up this whole economy other than the Federal Reserve and the fake stock market. Where is the real economy? Where is the economy booming? I have yet to have somebody write to me and tell me that. Yeah, people will tell me, people will judge me, people will call me a doom and gloomer, people will call me names, and that's fine. You know, thank you very much. But please, if you can take the time to judge me and call me names, take the time to please educate me on where the economy is booming other than the stock market, okay? That's not the economy. That is completely manipulated. I want to know what we're making, what we're producing, and where the economy right now here in America is booming. Because it's not in autos, it's not in freight, it's not in manufacturing. Where is it? Please, somebody enlighten me. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there today. Just wanted to make a video, touch base with everybody. Thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day and watching the video. Please give it a thumbs up. Share it with everybody you know. Share it all over social media. Share it with people you don't know. People must continue to prepare. And again, as they continue to knock stuff like this down, this is the stuff that's on sale. This is the stuff that you could hold in your hand. The paper millionaires with their 401ks and their money markets, I pray that it's there for you. I really do. But if you're holding an IRA and you're holding a 401k, why not hold some of this too? Why not hedge your bet? Because at least you're holding something in your hand until you're able to get your 401k or your money market. But I can tell you this, there's no guarantee that that's going to happen. I remember 2008 as clear as day, and how many people got wiped out instantly. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Nobody can take this away from you, especially if you have security. You can put this in multiple places. You can give this to multiple people. It has multiple uses, and it's in your hand. And so again, digits on a screen versus a physical asset in your hand. I'm gonna take this because I see nothing but trouble coming. And when I see all this fake optimism, all this fake data, and all these fake people that continue to tell us that everything is okay when there are absolutely no fundamentals other than the corporate buybacks, the Fed, the low rates, the helicopter money, the quantitative easing, and all of this manipulation and corruption in this stock market. I'm telling you, one day something is going to set this off. And I don't know if it's going to be what's happening in China right now or it's going to be something else. It doesn't matter. Sooner or later, people are going to lose faith in this dollar. They're going to lose faith in these markets. They're going to lose faith in the system. And when that day comes, all hell will break loose. And if you're not holding it, you don't own it.